Good morning everyone, welcome back to another video. I am back at the garage conversion and I did a little bit of work here last week. I'm going to show you what I did, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit more work. So the main thing I'm here to do today is to fit the bathroom door. All the architraves, as you can see, are done. Skirting boards are all done. Also, I've also temporarily sort of dry fitted the toilet and sink just to see where everything's going to fit. Actually screwed the sink to the wall and everything already. We've got some holes to bore out of the wall with a core drill for the toilet waste to come out, and also for the water pipes to come in, as well as the sink waste as well. So I'm not sure how far we get on that today, but hopefully I can get some of that done today. I can show you guys as well how we do that. So yeah, first attention is the door. I'm guessing maybe you can pick up some tips on how to fit a door. This is going to be one way of doing it, or maybe how I do it. But yeah, straightforward door really we've got here. A little bit of planing, probably a little bit trimming to do. And yeah, we've got a couple of hinges to fit on, and we've also got a door lock, privacy door lock for the bathroom as well to fit as well. So I'm going to try and see if we can fit that today and get that all closed up, and then we can move on to some of the plumbing. All right guys, so here we are. So you guys can see skirtings are all done, which I did sometime last week. You can see a lot of cutting around all these columns. Worked out in the end. It took a lot of time, but got it done. You can see I've done all around the back here, all around here. As you guys can see, we've got here. I've got all our architraves in as well, all the way up here. As you guys can see, all done around here. All done around, and we've stopped here for now until we sort out this bit, which will be done when the door's in. Also inside the bathroom has all been done as well, as you guys can see, all done. All the skirting and architraves have been done, round, door, and so on, all done. So you can see here we've got our sink in. We've actually got decent space in here. We've got the toilet in position here as well, and we've got the sink in here. So as I said, sink has been screwed to the wall. Obviously we've got to seal it and everything, and there likely will be some sort of splash bag, probably just a single tile or something like that. Waiting for that. Taps are in, and as I said, yeah, we just need to do some core drilling. So all we've got to do at the back here, now that we've got the floor in, we've got the toilet in its position, we can mark out on the wall exactly where our waste pipe has to be, the right height, the right location, and then we will core drill through the brick wall to the other side, and that will be our outlet running across. Then we're going to pick up the sink one at the back, similar at higher level, and we're going to join them outside, connect them together outside, and they're going to go down to the sewer. So yeah guys, that is it. So for now we're going to move on to the door. With the door which we've got here, it's a shaker style door, nice door here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to fit it on this side of the door frame. It will be opening just as you can see it opening here now, towards the left hand side like that. So yeah, that's basically where it's going to be. We'll all have our lock on this side. All right, first thing I'm going to do is check the size. I think I've checked this before, it should be correct. Standard door frame really. I can see already we need to take some off this door. We'll probably plane it off the bottom. We have internally we call it 686 mil. It's a width. I've checked, it's all plumbing and everything. This door is a 686 door as well. Yep, 686. Height wise, it's very standard, very typical, 198 centimeters. Now our floor, from floor to the underside of our jamb is 1978, almost 198. Yeah, 1978. So we are 3 mil too tall, but obviously we need to allow space above the door and space underneath the door as well. Our floor should be quite flat, so it should be fine as far as the bottom. But we need to take off, I mean, it depends, 2 to 3 mil off the top. I'm gonna go for sort of like 2 mil off the top, 2 mil off the bottom, somewhere around that. So we've got, let's just double check that again. We have 197.7. Write that down. We have 1977 and our door is 1980. So we've already got 3 mil to take off. Then we're going to take off 2 mil at the top, 2 mil at the bottom. That's another 4 mil. So add another 4 mil to that. So we've got 7 mil to take off. Okay, 7 mil to take off this door. Just over half a centimeter. So we're going to take it off at the bottom. Width wise, probably just need to plane it, but we will see. What I'd like to do is trim the height and just put the hinges on and then try to close the door and see, because sometimes it's just perfect and you've got to trim anything, which would be perfect. Sometimes you have to plane off a little bit. So we take the door back off, we'll mark it, take the door back off, plane a little bit as minimal as possible, put the door back. Obviously, if I do plane these doors, because they already come pre-primed, I'm gonna have to prime the sides. And then obviously we're gonna paint these 2 coats of white when we're doing the skirting boards. So I'm gonna cut off 7 mil of this and then I'm gonna come back. Let me just show you just a quick tip as well. This is something that a lot of people I see make mistakes. The guys used to make mistakes when they were first working with me and understanding things like this. Now, when you make a mark like this, which you guys can see, I've made a mark down here. That's what I want to cut. That's my measurement, okay? This is the part that I want to keep. Obviously, this is the offcut. So some people straight away, they just rip their saw down the line. Yeah, they use the line as where they should be cutting. Don't cut on the line. Always put your blade to the outside of the line. So for instance, this is the line, is the distance, is the length of the door that we actually want. So if we cut up on the line, being that the blade has a certain amount of thickness, probably 2 mil maybe. If you cut on the line, you're gonna end up cutting a little bit more to the right, so you end up cutting it too big. Obviously, don't put your blade to the right of the line, because then you'll end up taking extra 2 mil off. So you want your blade to the left of this line, so that the edge of your blade is touching on the actual line. So when you've cut this board, you should end up with everything. You should still see that line basically, or a little bit of it at least anyway. And then you will have everything going to the right, okay? So don't just cut on the line, whether you're using a handsaw or electric saw or whatever. Cut to the outside and put your blade on the edge of the line, especially when you're doing quite precise measurements like this. Right, so we're nice and cut now. Pass some sandpaper on the edge of that just to clean up the edge. But also another thing to bear in mind is how much of the door you can cut. So always refer to the manufacturer. Usually there's a sheet of something that comes stuck to the door with information like that. It will tell you what's the maximum you can cut off the bottom, the top usually, or the sides, okay? So if, for instance, you need to take 20 mil off, but the maximum you can take off is 20 mil, then you would take 10 mil off the top and 10 mil off the bottom, rather than trying to take 20 mil all off at one end. Or maybe it says the maximum is 15 mil that you can take off, so you've got to take 10 off at the bottom, 10 off at the top. Same thing for the sides as well. So something to bear in mind, sometimes if you cut too much off, you cut past the structure, which at the bottom, which is going to weaken the door. So there's times where there's nothing you can do about it. We had some doors I had to fit recently where we had to take something like 60 mil off or something like that. and they were all these, you know, hollow doors. So I took sort of 30 mil off either end, and then I had to rebuild the bottom, you know, take the structure out, re-glue it back in and all that stuff. So, I mean, it worked out, but it just meant a lot more work to do. So just something else to bear in mind. Right, so we cut now, so we're gonna try and offer this door up and see if it fits. Okay, looking good. So at the top at the moment, it looks, I would say we have about 3 mil up there. So I'm probably gonna end up having to plane a little bit more, or plane some off the bottom, but I've taken the main bit off, and because I'm gonna have to jack it up just a little bit to get it off the floor. So I'll put some spacers on the floor, jack it up a little bit, and then I'm just gonna temporarily screw on some hinges, and then we'll come back. Right, guys, so putting hinges in. So I'm gonna put the hinges, what I do is I put the hinge to the door first, then I offer the door up, and then I mark the frame based around the hinges. That's just how I do it. As far as where you put the hinges, you've got some really nice hinges here, by the way, and the handles, they're all white. Very fancy. I've never actually put in white hinges before. These are quite cool. Put in black hinges and chrome and all that stuff, well, not white. So anyway, that's the hinges. So typically, as a rule of thumb, go for 6 inches, mark 6 inches from the top of the door. That would be where the top of your top hinge is. And then you mark 9 inches from the bottom of the door, and that will be the bottom of the bottom hinge. So use that mark up here for the top of that hinge, and the other mark will be the bottom of the other hinge, okay? If you've got a third hinge, I'll stick it in the middle, but it's 2 hinges, is what I'm being given with this door, so we're hanging 2 hinges on it. Now, position of the hinges. Where do you put the hinge? Do you put the hinge on this side of the door, or do you put it on this side of the door? Not that it's going to make much difference, because these hinges are quite wide. They almost take the entire width of the door. Now, depending on which way the door's opening is where you want it. When the door's closed, remember your hinges will be closed like this, okay? So one side will be on the frame, the other side will be on the door. So if you can imagine, you fit this against your frame, and then you turn it and you show the direction the door's going to be closing. So the door will be on this side, hinge will be on this side. So because the door's going to be on that side, we just imagine it as it would be. It would basically be here. You'd have the door frame on this side, the door on that side, and the door would swing that way, okay? So what we do is we put it here, and I'm going to pull it down so it's flat at the back of the door, and that's how our hinge is going to be positioned, okay? So now from here, I can mark that top line, which we've already marked. Now, I like to go over this with a knife, because a knife is just a sharper line. But if you're going to do it with a pencil, just make sure you chisel to the inside of the line again when you're chiseling it all out, okay? You can mark these once you chisel it out, pre-drill your holes, screw them in, it'll be fine. Probably best thing to do, it just prevents lightness of the wood splitting or anything like that. So I'm going to mark these 2 hinges out, I'm going to chisel them out, and then we're going to screw these on and offer them up. So hinges are done. As you guys can see, we've got 1 hinge in here, and here's our other hinge here. So those are in. Now we're going to put the door up to the frame. I'm going to screw the hinge on. They're going to mark around it, chisel it out, take it off, obviously, and then put it back on, and then we're going to test the door. So as you can see, I've just put a screw in there. I've done the bottom one as well. I've lined it up neatly to the edge here. And now I'm gonna scribe around this and mark where the hinge should actually be. So I put my spacer at the bottom, got a spacer at the top. So far it looks good. I'm gonna mark that. I'll do the same from the bottom one. Then I'm gonna take the screw off, take the door off, and I'm gonna chisel this out so that I can sink this into the door. Once I've done that, then we will start closing the door and seeing if we need to plane anything off the door. Hinges are on, as you guys can see. I've cut them out, put that in. Same thing down here. I'm gonna show you guys hinges on. So now hinges on, where I want them to do it, we're gonna see if we can pull the door. As you guys can see, it fits on the inside, the architrave, but not the frame. We need it to fit in the frame. So I've actually already marked this. I'll show you guys. I've used my pencil and I've marked it with a pencil, scribed it down where I think it needs to be. So what I'm going to do now, take the door off, I'm going to plane it, I'm going to check it, screw it back on, check it again, and see if we're good, and whether or not we need to take off any more on the top, the middle, or the bottom, or anything like that. But for now, I'm going to go down that straight line, I'm going to plane it, and then we try again. We got the door planed, I've screwed it back on. Let's check it out now. That looks good. I can feel a little touch at the top, just at the very top here in the top corner. So you can see our gap is a little bit bigger than it is here. So we just need to shave a little bit at the top here, just clipping it. But on the side, we are looking perfect. I think we've got straight 2 to 3 mil gap there. And that looks absolutely perfect. So I can actually plane this without taking the door off. So I can give it a slight little mark from about here to here, transition. Now I'll be able to open the door and I can pass the plane on the top. Hi everyone, welcome back. And I'm done. Door is in, all done, except for one part of the lock, which unfortunately customer had missed out on the order and didn't realize they needed it. So I wasn't able to put the privacy lock in, but the door's hung and the latch is done. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So here we are, guys. This is the door. Also, I put a middle hinge in. I take the door off and put another hinge in because I actually found there was another box that had a pair of hinges in it. So it's actually got 3 hinges on the door now. Yeah, that's it pretty much. So I have done the handle, as you guys can see. It's also a white handle. It's quite nice actually. White handle here. And you can see it's got a latch on it. Here is the back, and then it should be another lock here. So this is the privacy lock, you guys can see it. So this is how you lock the bathroom from inside, but it also needs a lock as well, sort of like a mortise lock that goes in, and it will go in underneath this one. So we don't have that, unfortunately, so I can't put the lock on it. But this side here is all done as well, as you guys can see. And as I said, I put the third lock hinge on there as well. So this is the door from here. Obviously it's dark, I've got no lights on, but it is closing quite nice. We do it from this side. Oh, and also I put the door stops on as well, you guys can see. So those are done, and we basically can undercoat those. I did have to plane the door, obviously, so I'm going to have to treat this as well with some undercoat, which I'll do at the same time. Then the whole door can get painted once we start doing the final painting. Otherwise, this room is almost finished. All the sockets are in, all the lights are in. The board is in as well over here. As you can see, this is the board, it's a garage board. So it's 2-channel. Well, it actually has a spare way here. We always like to put a spare one just in case. You never know, someone might want to put air conditioning in or something like that, and there's just a spare way that you can run to in the future. So we've got a 32 amp breaker in there. It's RCD protected, and also it's got 6 amp as well for the lights. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So next will be, which won't be today, will be me boring out these and running all the pipe work, running it round down to the sewer. So also at the back here, we need to break up some concrete here as well, so we can dig the trench, continue this trench from here, and then obviously continue it there down to the manhole, and that's pretty much will be it. So yeah. So guys, until the next time I'm back here, I shall give you an update then. Well, until then, see you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.